And then what did you make of Sophie Cunningham's flagrant foul on JC towards the end?
It was a flagrant foul.
You think it's like defending England or defending the team, or how do you view just how it all?
I view it as a flagrant foul.
That's about the game too.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys came for basketball.
Yeah,
Let's talk about basketball.
Yeah.
Come on now.
What do you think of just how you all were able to pull away in the second half, Caitlin, and particularly?
We're going to the Commissioner Cup Championship.
Let's
That's
go!
pretty exciting. Y'all want to talk about that? Let's talk about that.
What do you think, again, in the second half?
The WNBA is in danger of being extinct. The biggest celebrity in the league, Caitlin Clark, is allegedly reaching her breaking point, and there are more and more reports that she is quitting. This is about on-court assaults that authorities choose to overlook, not just about rookie hazing. Now, alarming whispers are being disseminated by a media that blames the victim and a jealous league that resents its own savior that Clark is preparing an escape. This is a defiant power move that might reveal the WNBA's most fundamental problems and leave the league fighting for the same spotlight she provided.
WNBA record. This is her second season. And you put the numbers together, that's like 10 seasons. That girl did it in 10 seasons. That means she had won a season. Caitlin Clark is, when Caitlin Clark gets to 10 seasons, she's going to have 100 of these. And y'all can't get a girl her roses. Now, I don't like the fact that she be getting woke because she don't want all these lesbians to be mad at her. At the end of the day, is the woman putting in the work, she's putting in the work. And
you must first recognize the extent of her power in order to comprehend why quitting is even a possibility. The statistics don't just tell a tale when talking about a one-woman economic stimulus program. They shout it from the rooftops. Prior to Caitlin Clark's arrival, the WNBA was a fringe league vying for television. In her hometown of Indiana and everywhere she traveled after her arrival, it became appointment television. Other teams were forced to relocate their games to larger NBA venues as a result of the influx of title fans who flocked to arenas that had previously had seas of vacant seats.
This is all going according to plan. This is ideal. Caitlin Clark is holding up her end by being awesome and by being a trash-talking jerk on the court. Love it. Her teammates are holding up their end by having her back. The other players in the league are holding up their end by not liking her. Perfect. Couldn't have written a better script. Caitlin is talking trash to this girl. This girl's hard fouling her. Her teammate Sophie Cunningham, who got a black belt in Taekwondo at the age of 6, she's like, I will F you guys up. All of it's great, and Caitlin's a killer. 10 out of 10.
Her jersey became the best-selling item of any athlete in any sport when it was launched, and the league saw a triple-digit surge in major network viewership. The most incriminating evidence, though, was that the WNBA's viewership instantly fell by an incredible 55% after she was momentarily sidelined due to an injury. When you think about it, if one player doesn't play, more than half of the league's TV viewership disappears. She was the market as a whole, financing her own opponents and covering the salaries of the very players who appear to be upset with her for it. This was not a team player. Caitlin
Clark is driving the WNBA insane. It's to the point that she may need to step away from the WNBA, have a billionaire come in that has the money to prove a point, and say, Caitlin, I'll pay you $50 million just to see if the WNBA can make it without you. Let's go create a completely different league and expose the hell out of the WNBA just to embarrass this Angel Reese girl that Jameel Hill just said she could go down as a Michael Jordan of WNBA.
Her league debut, however, felt more like a back alley ambush than a red carpet, despite all the money and attention she brought. It soon became evident that opponents' primary defensive tactic was to test her tolerance for physical torture before losing it. Each game featured a highlight clip of aggressive closeouts and hip checks off balls that were on the verge of outright assault, demonstrating that this was not only rough, physical basketball, but also a targeted campaign. Marina Maber's famous shove, which sent Caitlin flying with a full body check unrelated to the play, was the high point of this.
Well, I will say this. When Caitlin Clark was out, they lost 55% of their viewership. So like basically Caitlin Clark is paying all their salaries.
Pretty much.
I mean, at the end of the day, you can hate her as much as you want, but she's brought in millions of fucking dollars. So you should be kissing her ass.
And that kind of defeated the purpose of Angel Reese's argument of she's like, hey, it's not just Caitlin Clark that is bringing all the viewership to the WNBA. It's like, well, it definitely is. It's like it kind of proved that with the viewership rating being down that she significantly increases viewership with
They try so hard to compare her to Caitlin Clark. They try.
The most frustrating aspect of Clark's answer to her detractors was that she simply got back up, picked herself up, and resumed her work without taking offense or complaining. Instead of being seen as professionalism, her poise was misunderstood as haughtiness, which only fueled the flames and made the subsequent blow even more terrible. We'll try to stop you with force if we can't stop you with talent, and you won't outshine us, was the plain message.
The fever and sun hold a brawl and a basketball game breaks out. This was something. Caitlin Clark, without question, gets raked across the face. I think she gets poked in the eye, but it's difficult to tell.
If you're the Indiana Fever, you cannot stand by and let that happen. They need to make it clear to the officials. If you're going to let this happen, then we're going to stand up for our player and make a mess of the game, and you're going to have a big mess on your hands. So you need to stand up for this. You need to do something about this.
You've just learned with definitive data and beyond question that Caitlin Clark controls more than half the audience for the entire WNBA.
A clear message was sent to the rest of the league by the referees, who appeared to be losing their whistles as they ignored or referred to egregious offensive fouls as common fouls, while treating Caitlin like a human piñata. The WNBA front office, who ought to have been safeguarding its golden goose, was remarkably mute and reacted more quickly to dress code infractions than to the organized persecution of their biggest player.
Of us were expecting some sort of dip since Caitlin Clark has been out with injury, but I don't think all of us were expecting the entire viewership of the entire WNBA to be down. And this tweet from Christine Brennan really stuck out to me. She said one player gets injured and more than half the TV audience for the entire league disappears. Has any other athlete ever had that kind of impact on a sport? Golf without Tiger definitely dropped precipitously on occasion, but not like this. This news is alarming for the league, and it's alarming for the league because this is such a crucial year for the WNBA.
This uncertainty and action led to the creation of a fan-driven online campaign called Protect Caitlin Clark. Rewatching slow-motion images of her circling unlawful screens and screaming into the internet ether for a flagrant foul that would never come, viewers turned into amateur forensic investigators. The WNBA's fundamental hypocrisy was revealed by this action. They wanted her to increase ticket sales and television viewership, but they wouldn't grant her the same fundamental safeguards as other players. This setback seemed to implicitly condone the on-court hazing.
I am sick and tired of the way they are treating my girl, Caitlin Clark. I am here to propose a solution. I think they need an enforcer. You know, someone who comes off the bench to kind of lay the smack down on an opposing team member. I want to get the word out to the Indiana Fever that I am available. I'm ready to identify as whatever I need to in order to get the job. They need someone like me. Why? Because I'm not afraid of any 6-foot tall lesbian. I work out. Now, I have a couple of real good go-to moves in my bag of tricks.
As if it couldn't get any stranger, the media intervened to place the responsibility on the victim instead of drawing attention to the risky behavior, and a strange conspiracy including talking heads and sports analysts started to emerge. We're talking about professional sports, a realm based on psychological warfare and ego competition, and they claimed Caitlin was to blame for the aggression because she was overconfident and engaged in trash talk before the game even started. This argument is so blatantly incorrect that it's difficult to know where to start. Larry Bird made his living by inflicting psychic damage on opponents. Michael Jordan was one famous trash talker.
Oh, it's this shit I don't like. A snitch loves this shit I don't like.
You know, they get into it a bit here. Lexi Holdown gets it. Sheldon's face, Caitlin Clark hits the deck.
Sneak decides that shit out the right.
Sheldon and Cunningham are getting
A snitch, nigga, that's that shit out the right.
Caitlin Clark with a few words with JC shot.
When Caitlin Clark does it, she's breaching an unspoken rule that invites physical retaliation, even if their actions are celebrated and memorialized as part of their competitive fire. The WNBA sent a clear and perverse message. If you are a strong, self-assured woman who supports it, you deserve everything that comes your way. Fans were incensed when pundits went to great lengths to justify a violent shove by pointing to Caitlin's posture or manner as if she had asked for it.
Caitlin Clark has decided to quit the WNBA and move on and go play over in Europe. I do not blame her. I applaud it. I say do it. Get as far away from the WNBA as you can. Let that league sink. Okay? Do not help them, Caitlin. Get away. I believe you could create your own league, okay? You could be the fucking player that creates whatever, the next professional women's basketball league. Let this one just go and let Caitlin try to build the next WNBA.
In a matter of months, the WNBA received more revenue and notoriety than some franchises had in decades, thanks to a bizarre and counterproductive campaign started by players who felt Clark hadn't earned her stripes and what made her the most prominent and important player in the league. They didn't enjoy being cast as supporting characters in the Caitlin Clark program after years of fighting for recognition. The rage was clear. This toxic environment wasn't limited to rival teams. It appeared to be embedded in the league's veteran culture. They were so preoccupied with finding the queen of the court that they overlooked the fact that without her, the entire kingdom was in risk of falling apart. Though it was frequently brought up, the rivalry with Angel Ree and others was but one symptom of a far more serious sickness. Instead of embracing the once-in-a-generation chance she offered, a group of players appeared more focused on putting the new star in her place.
I want to get your opinion because it's been a minute on this Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark stuff that's been going on. Brittany Griner a couple of weeks ago in a video says trash effing white girl when she was playing Caitlin Clark. What's your just kind of 30,000 foot view of this?
There is not an organization more dedicated and committed to self-imploding than the WNBA.
God,
the WNBA was like handed the golden egg that is Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
And they have done everything to just self-destruct.
Yeah.
Whether it's these totally crazy, like, racial investigations that have been proven a hoax.
At this point, the story intriguingly shifts from one of abuse to one of ultimate revenge, bringing us back to the unimaginable possibility that she would leave. She may negotiate a multi-million-dollar contract in Europe, where women's basketball players are often treated with more reverence and respect. The first is the European escape. She would be compensated well, shielded from the WNBA's high school drama and political infighting, and protected by the league. Even more dramatic is the second possibility. According to the billionaire's gambit concept, a rich investor who notices the WNBA's counterproductive tactics would get in touch with Clark and make this startling offer. I'll pay you $50 million to sit out and prove the WNBA cannot survive without you. Even better, I would fund a brand new rival league with Clark as its spokesperson. This would be the most groundbreaking event in modern sports history. It would be a direct challenge that would highlight the WNBA's shortcomings and possibly lay the groundwork for a new empire.
Caitlin Clark did her thing. Coming off of the injury, she returned for the Fever, and I swear I am not being hyperbolic. We were immediately gifted one of the greatest halves we have ever seen in the WNBA, and I say that with all context involved. This series from Caitlin Clark, the pull-up three here, and you are about to see back-to-back-to-back triples for Caitlin Clark in this game. I am not trying to erase the things we have seen from Maya Moore, from Diana Taurasi, A'ja Wilson's 53-point game, Stewie, Cynthia Cooper. Like, we have seen incredible halves of basketball, but you see Caitlin Clark coming off of that made three from the Liberty. Pull up, of course. She's making it in that moment.
Let's discuss the alleged competition that the media and certain athletes have hastily attempted to create. Every great sport has historical competitors. Rafael Nadal and Magic vs. Bird Federer was based on a mutual respect, but Caitlin Clark's situation is more of a one-sided fixation than a rivalry. When Angel Reese gave Clark a blatant foul to the head and was subsequently spotted on the bench, getting great applause from her teammates, the whole ruse came to light. Even though genuine rivals encourage each other's development and frequently recognize each other's skill off the court, this was about hostility rather than competitiveness. While some opponents seem more interested in her, Clark seems more concerned with winning games and playing basketball. They have degraded the fundamental notion of what a professional sports competition ought to be by making it personal, transforming it from a thrilling drama into a toxic spectacle. The plot is distinct because of this. The unachievable professionalism requirement is perhaps the most annoying part of the whole affair. Clark is held because she was caught in a typical boisterous setting, and players who participate in such behaviors are rarely questioned for their lack of professionalism. Any human response is reframed as a flaw in her character. There is no right or incorrect way for her to behave. If she responds to a hard foul, shows irritation, or disputes a call, she is instantly branded as immature, entitled, or unable to handle the pressure. She is expected to keep flawless, robotic composure while being subjected to unprofessional and often dangerous behavior. Yet if she does not react, takes a hit, gets up, and walks away, she is branded as conceited, aloof, and not a team player. All-Star Game and comment Baby Got Over. Baby Giraffe down below, like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen and we will see you in the next.